Here we go. Right. So as usual, I think we can start with a quick check of the long-range colloquium to see what's up, what's new. So Evert, I think everything sounds under control for Xiachen.
Yeah, I think the announcement was sent out, the Twitter announcement was there. I mean, the email was sent out, the Twitter announcement is there. Talk and abstract are there. Unfortunately, I did not manage to get a picture from Shia this time for the tweet, but okay. I think I gave her a sort of in between the lines reminder that it's supposed to be more colloquium style because her abstract seems rather technical. I didn't want to, force her to change it into a colloquium. So we'll see. Hopefully it's, she's a good speaker from the colloquium that I've seen from her. So that should be good.
That's cool.
But everything is on track.
Very good to hear. And there's still 1 week to go. So no pressure. And for the next invite, I think you were mentioning, Alberto, that Andy McKenzie said yes.
Yeah, he said yes. He's asking when he needs to send the topic and title.
Yeah. Can you remind me of when is the date of his colloquium?
March 31st.
Yeah, for March 31st.
So we can now test the machinery. So that means that it's your job, Alberto, to open a scheduling issue for Andy and also update the wiki.
Okay. I'll do that. I'll learn to do that.
Keep track of what was clear and what was not clear when you learn to do this, because that tells us where we have to update our instructions for new members.
Yeah.
Okay, that looks good. It means we are set for a couple of months.
To the question of topic and title timing, is that automatic already? So when I create the issue, or how do I reply to Andy?
When he needs to provide them. So, well, preferably before the announcement, and we usually try to make the announcement 2 weeks in advance.
Okay.
So that would be many speakers don't manage to fit into the exact time frame. So even later is also okay, but 2 weeks in advance would be a reasonable time to communicate.
Okay.
And usually we first create a talk with TBA so that people are on the schedule, but not yet with details provided.
That's good. Okay.
The next point is something that Eliška raised, and I think it's a very good point to include the name of speaker in planning issues, so it's easy to know what is what. Is that something that's up to you, Anton? Like, are the issues created automatically now? I think
there is a button which says create the issue, and we never pay attention to the issue title itself. So this is up to the person to provide the speaker name.
Yeah.
We could, in principle, automatically rename the issue according to the speaker name, but to be honest, that seems a bit like over-engineering.
Yeah.
A reasonable middle ground would be to update the template so that there is a placeholder for the speaker name in the issue title. And this I can do just as we speak. So
yeah,
perfect. Great. Okay, very good. That will make it easier to just understand what each bit is about. And the next point is whether there is anything to discuss about quantum oscillations in insulators. That's now coming up relatively quickly in a couple of weeks' time. Is everything under control from what you know?
I think Anton will probably be the
Yes,
best to
right.
answer.
I was opening the template to fix.
That's what I thought.
Something that I did not yet discuss with the organizers, and that I will need to. That is actually a good point to discuss now. Is how to organize moderation. I propose that we basically give the organizers the host key.
Yeah.
And instruct them to use it. Seems like a reasonably straightforward thing to do. That still means that they will need to be starting the meeting. But not correct. We will need to manually start the meeting, but they will be able to.
Would you be able to add Brian to the Zoom account temporarily and then remove him after the meeting?
No, that's the easiest indeed. That's an alternative. We can do that and give him a co-host, alternative host for that specific meeting. That's even better. You're right. Okay, so we will do that then. The host key seems to be more work, and he will give co-hosts to the other organizers the way he seems necessary. He deems necessary.
Okay, just mark it as an action point. You don't need to do this, right? Any of us could do that. Because we all have access to the Zoom account.
Any of you can. I think any of us is an admin on the Zoom account, and probably this means that you can invite other users and give them co-host permissions. And you can certainly edit the meetings and add alternative hosts. So in principle, I am not required for anything. There is one exception, that the user needs to be licensed for the duration of the meeting to be an alternative host, because unlicensed users don't have extra permissions, but we also have at least one spare license. And anything else? But it still makes sense if I do that, just because I am the contact person for that event.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Okay, then I put it down to you. Very good. Then we have some updates on previous action items. And we did add the diversity and inclusion statement that we were discussing last week. That's live. So we're left with 306 from last week's list, which is the update to active organizers. How is that going?
So I think I was a bit too early with merging that. There was some discussion about adding either a statement of what active means, or which I think was the suggestion we ended up with last, adding a line that says last updated, so that, you know, if your name is in one of the two lists, then at least people can see, you know, if it's up to date or not, that list. And I just made a pull request that I can send in the chat here. Maybe I can actually, let me add it to the HackMD. But,
yeah.
Sorry. That's here, number 314. That just adds that sentence about last updated. So if that's all good, then we can go ahead and fix that too.
Perfect. Okay, so that's done. Excellent. And then I see that it has appeared. Pull request number 13, automation on updating the email. That's not.
Yeah, I added that, but unfortunately Eliška is not here. Eliška made an update to the email, which to the email template, just adding a sentence that says that adds a proposal email template for sending around to your colleagues.
Oh, okay.
For the speaker's corner, right? So that the email that you get has as a template that you can use to send around to your colleagues. she made a pull request there. I asked for a few changes, but she hasn't had time to merge them yet. But as soon as that to implement those, as soon as that happens, then we can merge this too.
That's perfect. So I will just write a scan Evert working on it.
Yeah, that should be done relatively
Perfect.
soon.
This is one I would say just very nice. Is there anything else that's still open from the past that's not in this list that somebody has in mind? If not, the next point is automation. What's new? Or is there anything new?
Some outstanding pull requests that need to be updated. So nothing really new from the last time, but in principle, close to having a few quality of life upgrades.
Okay.
Speaking of quality of life, I just wanted, since I see now Evert in person, there is a really low quality of life part about the YouTube videos, because we need to provide the YouTube identity every time, since we are not saving it after update. So that may be something we may want to improve. It's probably a good idea to connect publishing of videos to also long range colloquium. Both of these seem to be like useful now, also because LRC is going on.
Can you go back one more step? Sorry, I was a bit distracted. To the quality of life for the YouTube identity. I'm not sure.
The YouTube token is expiring.
Oh, right. Yeah, I see.
And we need to. There's that's a issue. So if you have some bandwidth, it would be great if you could look at the issue number.
Yes, I saw it. I'll find it.
36. Yes. So, and for the unfortunate thing, it needs some manual coding right now. That's annoying, but.
Okay, yeah, I'll look into that, and then if anything comes up, I can I'll ping you.
And the other thing that is not implemented yet, but this close to implementation, is automated publication of long-range colloquium videos, which would also streamline the thing.
Yeah.
Is that something that you have on your plate, or is that something you would like me to take over too?
My plate for the next few weeks has one item. Yes, teaching. Yeah. Sorry about that.
No, that's fine. Is there an issue for this, or is this just somewhere that?
That's a good point. Let's remember to open an issue. All right.
Okay, good. Thanks.
Very good. If this is all we have on automation, then we're getting to the point that Daniel raised about whether we would host regular seminars.
Yeah, right. So this became less urgent now because they, in the end, decided that they want to do it for this semester, but maybe my colleagues in Budapest want to do it next semester. I removed all specific information because I don't know what internal power struggles are in the background there, so I don't want this to be in the notes. But anyhow, yeah, it's a good question. If someone is interested in like hosting regular seminars on the platform, what do we think about that?
What do they get out of it?
Well, for example, that their university only subscribes to Microsoft Teams, which is quite clunky for large meetings.
And
A YouTube channel, a page, a mailing list.
Okay, so our requirements are, we still have these as open as anything else we do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it would be open to the public.
And what do we provide to them? Account, like Zoom account services, things like that.
Yeah, I guess so. So yes, I really don't know how this would work. So that's why
Well, I'm thinking of it as like, such and such university or department's seminar hosted by VSF, right?
Yes.
The hosted by means something, like we maybe, I don't know, do we offer any automation, or maybe one of us?
Yeah, right. So publishing the YouTube videos, providing an event page, and a mailing list seem to be all within the scope.
Right.
Yeah, I guess then like someone from there would join and do the day-to-day things, like building on the automation that is already in place.
Mm-hmm. Right. And so we can provide the sort of support for that. And
Yes.
we kind of view it as an event, but an ongoing event like other events that we have. Yeah. I'm open to it, actually. So one thing that we experienced in our department was that just to pull off the colloquium was so much work that I think basically all the other seminars have just gone on there. They're not happening right now. And that's a great loss.
If that's not too much of information of like private information, what was the amount of work and what was the work involved
for the colloquium?
Yeah,
so colloquia are hosted by faculty, and so just to bring the committee together to do the invitations, and then just make sure that because there are workflows in place for in-person colloquia. Okay, that's known. And then now you have to transfer everything to virtual and do Zoom and all the points and clicks that need to be done, and sort of train all the faculty to know what they need to do, train the staff who were involved. It basically took the first semester, better part of the first semester, to just get things ironed out. Overall it went okay. But so I was in charge of sort of doing that stuff. So I needed to create a lot of documentation and have workflows in place with timelines. Okay, remember to do this 10 days ahead of time, stuff like that. So creating the guides and all of that took a lot of time, and ironing them out as well, because they had mistakes and stuff, where things were done better in a different way. And so I think, then sort of replicating that for a seminar with people who were busy transferring teaching to online and so on, just didn't happen. I think there may be, I don't know how people feel about having everything out in the open. That may be one of the things that is an obstacle to some sort of more traditional,
Yeah, I know that they're very hesitant with recording things, at least here in the department, for example. The arguments being all over the place, ranging from GDPR to if we record it, no one will ask questions kind of statements. So I guess that's up to the university then to decide if they're okay with that, or if we want to provide a platform that does not require recording.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point. I guess I should also let them know that this is part of the deal.
Yeah. So with our colloquium series, department series, colloquium series, we also recording, but the thing that we tell the speakers is that this is not on YouTube. We share it on a playlist that is open to the usual audience of the colloquium. And the speakers, so that's kind of the way we approached it, because we didn't want it to be like a big decision for them to make. But they have all been very open. No question. Yeah, record, share, you know. A few have sort of wanted to review the recordings, which always is the case. We let them review, and yeah, nothing. It was not a deal breaker at all for any of them. So I don't know what the general attitude is, but
I've been to a department colloquium recently, which was live streamed on YouTube, with a recording of the live stream also immediately available. People didn't seem to care so much. Also, at some point, I'm pretty sure that is not good from the GDPR standpoint. When the speaker turned off the screen share, you could see everybody's faces in the gallery mode, but that's okay.
yeah. It's an interesting contrast, because you know, our usual in-person colloquia are also open to the public. Anybody can come to the room and see everybody, but you know, the recording is a different thing. It's like it lasts forever. So yeah.
Oh, but that's so that's largely on the side of the people who are potentially interested to decide whether they're comfortable with recordings or not. At the same time, from our side, I think it fits the scope rather well. I am a bit concerned that so this does require some work investment to organize everything up. Not an unreasonable amount of work, but so not something that we cannot do, but it takes maintenance. Of course, in the worst case, we just say that one of the organizers has to join our collective, in which case they also pay with work. That's so I think
also what I would think is a reasonable approach. That also, if it's good that if they rely on the platform, then there is someone who is at least somewhat familiar with the inner workings.
That makes sense. Yes, we should maybe also keep in mind the capacity. If this is something that we offer, if other universities want to do this, then we can only have so many meetings simultaneously.
Oh, we can have a lot of meetings simultaneously, I heard.
Ah, okay. I thought they were limited to 2 or so.
No, we can have so we only have one account for 500, one place for 500 seats, but the 300 meetings we have 10. That's
okay.
It happens to be the minimal number, but the only events that do require more than 500 seats are these big colloquia.
Good.
Sorry, not colloquia, workshops.
The workshops, yeah.
To attract more audience.
Check. Okay, good. So there's capacity. Then we can erase this part from the recording.
Yeah, so it sounds good. I agree that it sounds like something that in principle there's no reason not to support. But then from this discussion is also quite clear that we would need to discuss details with whoever is interested, because there are some practical things that one would figure out. But okay, yeah, that's good to know, because then if we hear back from Daniel, then we know that we are happy to start the conversation.
Yeah, right. So it seems that they're still considering this, but possibly from like the fall semester. But then, like, if they wanted, they should like actually contact us directly well before in time.
That's a good point, because probably we would need a few meetings with them and among ourselves to figure out the details. So yeah, a couple of months lead time probably is the minimum to make it work. Very well. Next point is any other business? Any ideas, problems, new updates?
Well, the software that Vala has shared in chat, wonder.me, seems to look fun. It may be better suited for public events than spatial chat. I'm not sure how it handles capacity, but it already has some moderation out of the box. It's completely free for the whole of 2021. And they also promise that if you grab a room, they will keep it free for you. So these are good things. And so it's more aimed at accommodating discussion of a few people at once, but it also has centralized presentations.
Okay.
Yeah, I also
So
actually,
we could, yeah.
it looks very nice to use. Now, I haven't had anybody actually join there yet because I started doing it today, but it's a nice sort of environment.
We can try and mimic some more traditional talk. You can, sit in groups, and maybe if there's one broadcaster, you can sit next to someone and discuss what they're, saying.
Yeah. Yeah, that seemed to work rather well. Okay, I didn't try it with many people. I tried it with 2, and seems nice. We could continue experimenting with it.
Yeah, that sounds really nice. And it's great if it's free, because other services, if you want to have a few people there, it becomes very expensive very quickly. Good, sounds like a good catch. And if there isn't anything else, we are already at the next chair. Good, Alberto.
I volunteer.
Yes. Excellent. Very nice. Perfect. That brings us to the end. So have a good evening, everybody. Or good afternoon.
Thank you. You too.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See you all.